Hey everybody, it's Kirsten. Uh, I know it's been a while since we've uploaded, but I figured better late than never. I kind of had to take the summer off because, as you can imagine, it's been super busy. I was back at in Salt Lake City, Utah, where I go to school, and I was doing the Ballet West summer program as well as doing a bunch of academic classes to keep my degree plan rolling. So anyway, I should just get on with it now, but I figured I would do a summer intensive review on Ballet West because I've been the past 2 summers now and I still haven't talked about it at all. And I have reviews on all of the other summer programs I went to, so I thought, why not? Carpe diem, right? Seize the day. Anyway, that made no sense. I have a little list here on the back of some junk mail. Um, so that I could stay organized and list my pros and cons and give an effective review. Hopefully, that is the goal. That is the end goal here, so that you guys can make better decisions on if you want to audition there or not. So I'll just get on with it. But first, I will say that I'm going to base my opinions mostly off of last summer because this summer I only did the mornings only program for the University of Utah students, um, which is just for us ballet students who so that we can do the morning classes only and then do academic classes in the afternoon. And that was super helpful. I'm really glad I got to do that. But last summer I did the whole program. Well, not the whole program. They have a 4 week or an 8 week option. I did the last 4 weeks, but I did it all day, so I think I can give you an effective review from those 4 weeks. Um, so I'm going to get on with the pros. First off, it was really fun. I had a great time. I really enjoyed how at this summer program there seemed to be a decent amount of freedom. The RAs kind of gave us our space. We got to check out of the dorms frequently, and we had 2 day weekends, which could be a pro or a con depending on who you are and what you like. For me, it was a pro because when you're working really hard, it's really, really nice to have 2 days to fully recuperate and also enjoy the city. It was really great to have more time to explore and do fun things and participate in the activities they had planned. So I like that, but some people may not, so that may be a pro or a con depending on your preferences. Um, we had a really great schedule, in my opinion. I really liked the balance of the classes. They had, most times it was our schedule started at 9 a.m. and ended at 4:30 or 5:30. And I think that is obviously a lot of dancing, but it was definitely manageable and still enjoyable at the end of the day. Because at Houston Ballet, we started at 9 a.m. and we could end after 6 p.m., like 6:15, maybe even 6:45, and that got to be really exhausting. Although that was fun as well. But it's just kind of like I said, up to you and your preferences. Um, but as far as the actual classes, I really liked how we started out our day with 2 hours of ballet technique. And having 2 hours really makes a big difference as opposed to maybe an hour and a half. Oh, awkward. I'm standing in front of a window and someone's walking past my window. Anyway, on with it. So we started with 2 hours of ballet technique, which I really liked because I felt like we could really fit everything in, and there was no rush, and we didn't have to cut certain combos out. I really felt like it allowed us to have a very well-rounded class. So that was great. And then after that, for the girls, we had either point 3 days a week for an hour or variations on Tuesday and Thursday. Um, so our morning classes would go from, okay, this walking past again, awkward. Not awkward. It's only as awkward as you make it. That's what I remind myself every day. Um, Living life as a very awkward person. Anyway, so we would have class from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. And I really liked that. So then we had an hour lunch break. Then we would have classes in the afternoon that would vary from jazz, modern, pas de deux, repertoire, choreography, yoga. There was a huge variety. So I really liked that every day our classes were different, that we had a really wide variety of teachers. Every week we'd have new teachers, a new schedule. I really liked the variety. It kind of kept things fresh, um, and kept it going, especially for those troopers who stayed in the whole program for 8 weeks. I admire you people. I did the 8 week mornings only program, and that was enough for me, considering I had a full academic class load on top of that. But man, let me tell you, I could seriously not imagine doing the whole 8 weeks. I know lots of people who did it and liked it, but for me personally, at this stage in my life, I think that would be a little bit excessive doing 2 months of hard training. But I certainly don't want to say that would not be a good idea, because there are tons of dancers who would love that and definitely benefit from it. So it's just really up to you. But for me, I was very glad that last summer I did 1 month, and then this summer I was doing the mornings only, just because I have different priorities at this time, and I'm doing a lot of schoolwork on top of that. But anyway, I think you get the point by now. Um, we also had really great guest teachers. This summer, we had Megan Fairchild come from New York City Ballet for 2 weeks, and I was in the highest level. I was in level 4, and she taught our classes quite a bit, so I really enjoyed having her. And also, her husband was there teaching, and he was really fun to have as well. We only had him for one class, but I really enjoyed it. And I think they also had Daniel Albright. Always mess up his last name. I feel a little bit dumb right now, but anyway, uh, he is also a dancer with New York City Ballet, and he came and taught some of the lower levels, I believe. I never got to take his class though, but it would have been really cool if I did. So those are just a few of the guest teachers we had. They were probably the biggest out of the whole program that came, but I really did enjoy most all of the teachers that came. I mean, there were a couple. You're not going to love everybody. I mean, sometimes you will. I had summer programs where I liked almost all the teachers, but um, I mean, there were just a couple here and there where I didn't particularly love their class, but like I said, the schedules changed out all the time. So if you don't find yourself loving a certain teacher, they're probably going to be gone in a week or two, so no worries. That's what I liked about it. Um, so also, I mentioned that we had only 5 days a week of classes, and I thought that was nice, like I said, to recuperate. And we also had fun activities planned on the weekend. I think this year they even had more planned than last year, but I wasn't staying at the dorms this year, so I didn't really know. But it sounds like they're fun, especially since they're optional. You can kind of just choose whatever you want to do, which really makes the weekend a nice time. You can hang out with your friends, or just really do whatever. You could stay in your room all day if that floats your boat, and you wouldn't get in trouble for that either. So I really liked that sort of flexibility and kind of recuperation time that the 5 day week provided. Um, Also, this is a little bit random, but they have pretty decent food arrangements at the summer program. You, unless you stay like out of the dorms, if you have other arrangements for your stay, everyone stays at the University of Utah dorms, and you dance at the Marriott Center for Dance, which is uh, at the University of Utah. So it's all really convenient. You just take a short bus ride down from the dorms to the studios, which are really nice facilities, by the way. Um, and it was all really good. And you eat at the Heritage Center, which is right next to the dorms where you'll be staying. And they have pretty good food. It's not the best, it's not the worst, but you'll certainly get by on it. If not, enjoy it. So that is something good about the program as well. And you can either pack your own lunch somehow, or you can walk over to the Union, which is the big student building where they have a bunch of places to eat, as well as student resources, but that's not really relevant to you. But anyway, that's just a description of the building, and you can just walk over there, go to the cafeteria, get some lunch if you don't want to pack your lunch. Let's see. Other things. Well, actually, I guess I'll move on to the cons that I can remember right now. Um, this one can also be viewed as either a pro or a con, depending on your preferences and how you look at it. But there is no final performance. When I was younger, I used to always really love that, and I think I still would. I really like performing, and so I think that would be a fun opportunity. But it is also nice that you don't have to kind of stress out about a show or your casting or performing, things like that. And it really allows you to focus on your training as well and your technique, which I liked. It was much more simple. Um, so it's good or bad depending on how you look at it. Also, one thing that I'd say most people think is bad is that there's limited personal attention. And I observed this over both summers. Um, the class sizes are about 30 to 35 dancers most times. And, oh, sorry. Excuse me. Anyway, so 30 to 35 dancers. And most of the time, there is really no personal attention. Of course, teachers will here and there give a personal correction to a dancer, but most of the time, and especially compared to other summer programs I've been to, you're just going to get a lot of really general corrections for the whole group, which are still beneficial. But if you're really looking for a lot of personal attention, this is probably not where you're going to get it. However, I do think there's a lot of value in learning individually, as in kind of taking charge of what you absorb. Instead of someone telling you something personally, you can definitely just take in the group corrections or just be very observant of yourself and just be able to identify what you'd like to work on and use the training you're given there to uh, improve in that area that you choose to work on. So it's not horrible. And another good thing about it is that they don't really pick favorites, which I know for a majority of people is really annoying when that happens, especially when you're not the favorite, which is most of the time. I mean, I'll speak for myself, but yeah, it gets kind of frustrating when you feel like a teacher is just looking at one dancer, and this isn't a program where that is prone to happening. At least most of the time, I think here and there you just notice that teachers giving more corrections to one person than anyone else. But I mean, then again, it's just kind of what you make it or what you choose to think about it. But um, I did enjoy the summer program, and I did get something out of it technically. Let's see. Oh, this is kind of silly, but there are no free leotard days, as in you wear the black leotard uniform every day. You have to wear that. Other than for a few classes like jazz and modern, and I think choreography sometimes, you could wear colored leotards, but that's just something to keep in mind if that's something you really want. Um, you can't really do that at Ballet West. So black leotards is what you have to wear. Uh, Another thing is there is a lot of focus on the trainee program in the upper level. So there's levels 1, 2, 3, and 4. Excuse me. However, depending on the amount of dancers that come to the summer program, they would have like 2 level 2s or 2 level 3s. Um, as in 2 groups, not 2 dancers, so that they could have smaller class sizes. But that's kind of the structure of the summer program as far as the levels go. But anyway, there is a pretty big emphasis in the top level of getting into the trainee program. Now, most people don't express interest in it or really care about it too much, but for those of you who are interested in applying for the year-round trainee program at Ballet West, there's quite a big emphasis put on it. I feel like, as in the director of the school and Adam Skloot, the director of the company, come and watch class quite a bit. Adam Skloot teaches twice each session, which is really cool though. I liked it because I like his classes. Um, but for some people, that just adds an element of stress that they don't prefer. So you just have to keep that in mind that if you would be in the top level, there is kind of that extra element of being watched more closely or people being a little bit more on edge because some are really looking to get into that program. But I wouldn't say that's a huge con. It's just something to keep in mind whether or not you're interested in it. A few other mentionable things are that, like I mentioned, the facilities are good. I really like the studios. I mean, that's where I dance year round, but I really like the size of them, and I feel like it's just a good facility. There are Punita classes offered for the two upper levels, 3 and 4, and I believe it's twice a week for both levels, which is nice. And you also get more partnering experience here and there in repertoire. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm yawning so much. Repertoire or choreography class, depending on what you're doing at that day. Let's see, you can choose either the 4 week program or the 8 week program, like I also mentioned. And I feel like I'll get a lot of questions from people asking if the program is hard to get into or not, and kind of asking about the caliber of the program. It's definitely not one of the hardest programs to get into. I guess I kind of think of it this way. They're like the Ivy League schools of ballet, so to speak. There's like SAB, PNB, San Francisco Ballet School, Houston Ballet. I mean, it's kind of subjective though. Some people would add a few more in there, but that's what I think of as like, or Miami City Ballet. A couple of those really, really big programs. Those are the ones that are going to be harder to get into. They're more prestigious. A lot of dancers um, audition to get in there. For Ballet West, I'd say they have a fair amount that audition. However, they accept a lot of dancers, and there are a wide variety of skill levels within the classes, the levels 1 through 4. So I would say it's really not super hard to get into at all. I wouldn't stress about it. You do I believe you do have to have some point work experience for the younger viewers to audition. I believe you do have to be on point to be in level 2. I mean, you do. I know that. Or level 2, as in that's the lowest. Level 1. But I'd say no matter your skill level, give it a try. If you're really interested, don't be too intimidated by it. Although I kind of think that with most summer programs, I would say you should be smart about where you audition and where is realistic for you, especially if you're going to be traveling to an audition and spending a lot of time and money and investing into the whole situation. But don't really beat yourself down because you never really know. You could be accepted even if you think all the odds are against you. So I would recommend this summer program as a whole to just kind of wrap this up because I've been filming forever. Um, I would recommend the summer program. I think it's great, um, especially for. I would say it's not like super stressful. Um, it's a great learning environment, and you get a lot of fun experiences in there. But like I kind of mentioned before, it's not like one of the best summer programs, but really, really, it is what you make it. That's why I love to tell people what you put into it is what you're going to get out of it. So if you go in there, enjoy yourself, work really hard, I think you could really, really reap a lot of benefits from the summer program, and I would totally recommend it. But I'm going to wrap it up there, and I'll talk to you later. I hope you guys got a lot of great information from this, and please feel free to ask any questions